Yeah, let's get going.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Corey Bosmer, host of Football Kentucky DBA on Facebook and Twitter. And today's guest is the head coach of Central Yellow Jackets in Louisville, Kentucky, Marvin Dantzler. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me.
No problem, no problem. So I'm going to jump right to it. You guys started very sluggish. Well, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. That happens. That's the start of it. Well, I guess for people that don't know the sport of football, how that works, and for the people that are used to, accustomed to things a certain way, because Central's one of those spots that's used to winning. You know how hard it is to please people. You can't please everybody. It's just the nature of the beast. Y'all started kind of sluggish, but y'all worked your way into 2 wins. One of those four losses, trying to remember who it was against. It was a close win. Y'all lost by like maybe 1 or 2 points. Who was that against, Coach?
On the road at Belfry, 5 hour bus ride.
So it was about 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back.
No, that was one way. It was one. It was down to one lane going through Pikeville.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we got there about 6 and played at 6. We got there about 6:30 and played at 7. I think something like that.
So what a lot of people don't realize is when you're on a bus for that long, you don't have that much time to prepare. And I know you have all week to prepare, but most teams and coaches like to prepare for at least an hour, hour and a half before the game, day of the game. To only have 30 minutes, that long of a ride, and then to still be in it. I mean, you never want to lose, but I mean, with all things considered, I mean, let me ask you this: is there ever such a thing as a good loss?
Well, I wouldn't say a good loss, but you can. I mean, for me, it's always silver lining. For them to go that far and compete, we was in the game. We had a chance to win the game.
Right.
It came down to a last second field goal with 4 seconds. So even with all that was done and said, they competed, and then it's tough to win at Belfry. So that's another thing. So they played hard at home. So I came out of it feeling really, really good about the way our kids played.
That's one thing, case in point to Belfry last year, y'all beat the dog smack out of them. Wasn't even
Yeah.
it was bad. It was brutal. I never expected that coming from Belfry. But and then look what Belfry did last year. Case in point, their history and their coach. How hard is it for you to try to game plan against a man like Haywood that has that much prestige and history and knowledge of the game?
Oh, I have a ton of respect for him and what he's done. I mean, you're talking the all-time winningest coach in the state when it comes to Kentucky. And, that was the first time I lost to Belfry myself. So, I mean, I just have I have a ton of respect for him. And I just think, starting off at 2-4, I mean, people say we started off sluggish. I say go back and look at the history. Central have started off 0-6 and won titles. So we've done nothing this year out of the ordinary. I think, it's more of a narrative than anything.
That's a good point.
We started off 0-5, 0-6, and been right there in the championship game.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a perceptive narrative that people, whoever they are per se, like to put out there. But another thing, I made a point when I did that little write-up last week. Not having seniors, let alone a single one, is major.
Huge.
So being a coach and coaching as long as you have in the game, I would like for you to let the folks and individuals out there that are watching this and that will see it later on, how important, how vital it is to have seniors on the team to help lead.
Well, especially when you're starting off early in the season, and then of course you look at the people we play, just the little things. And I remember telling my staff in a meeting, I think we're sitting there with like 2-3 or something like that, and I go, no, you guys want them to be 18 or 15. They're 15-year-old kids. They're gonna grow up. It's not our job to rush them, but they will grow up. So I never waver on it. The talent was there from day one. But at the end of the day, they're still inexperienced. They're still sophomores playing against seniors. You think about it, we won the district, then give up a point with a group of guys that can all play JV. So
True.
it makes a huge difference.
One thing, for a person like me, you know, some of the best talent that ever come out of the youth leagues in the inner cities here in Louisville out the last 10 years are on that squad playing together. Cortez Stone, Kool-Aid, and Silver
Yeah,
Up. Despite how good you are at the young age, once you
yeah,
going from youth league to high school is like going from college to the pros. No matter
right.
how talented you were, you ain't nobody once you get there. Once you transition to another level, you're a peon. Not saying you get what I'm saying. So
It's still a learning curve.
that's
Yes.
what I'm saying. But I mean, look how as young as they are. Luckily, they are talented enough that they have been to be able to muster and stay with it. How important are having kids young be able to handle adversity on a team?
Well, it bears well for what's going forward, Corey, when you think about it, because we're in a great shape. I feel like we've weathered the storm for us the hardest part. They didn't fall apart. They stayed together. They never wavered neither. It wasn't just me. The kids never wavered. Kurt Snow, who coached these kids in Little League, did such a great job of the mental toughness part. And, everything that I told them, they just stayed with it. And now here we are going into the playoffs, and we like our chances. We don't fear nobody in 4A. I promise you that. So we're ready to go.
That's how it should be. So I want to talk about the defense. How much the defense progressed during your district play, winning those 4 straight, not allowing a single point. Having something like that happen, that's got to vote good for the confidence moving forward. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if that was the goal, was to have 4 shutouts, but once it started happening, we just rolled the rave. But the biggest thing was just, I'm a big thing on find out what the kids do and let them do it. We want kids to play fast. It's not about what I think we should be doing or what someone else think we should be doing. It's about what they do well. So I've always coached that way. I try to coach to the strength of my team. And this team reminded me a lot of my Booker T team from 2015. So I sat down one day, went back through my old playbook and said, hey, we're going to get in this 3-3 stack and we're gonna let them do what they do. And we just play fast.
Definitely. So I want to talk about your defensive coach, Charles Edison, who I know through Little League. He's been in the game a long time. He's got a lot.
Absolutely.
A lot of people kind of question him too. Through what was just normal, because like you said, Central's been 0-5, 0-6, and made it to the final dance before. Like having somebody that's been there in the thick of things and hardships. Would you say that's also important too for team morale?
Oh yeah, and Charles did a great job because I mean he probably kept me grounded some of the time along the way.
Right.
His thing was just we just gonna keep getting better each week. That was his thing, and he just came in, game plan work. And we tried not to beat the kids up, because we knew they was trying. And I don't think we had everybody until the South Warren game. So that's another thing, not knowing all the details of what's going on. We didn't have the full team until South Warren. So the first 5 or 6 games, we don't even have everybody.
Heck, even I didn't know that. But, I mean, that's major, whether you have seniors on the team or not. Whether you have seniors on the team or not, when you that's just vital. Point blank,
Yes.
when you don't have everybody, that's a big piece. I can't believe I didn't know that. I'm usually the one to find stuff out. So, man, I want to talk about a couple of specific players. I want to talk about mainly just Cortez Stone. What he did that last game. What was it? 346, 47 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Or the Wagner game.
I want to talk about that. This is for the people out there, naysayers, however you want to put it. I don't care if a team is lesser of talent, to be able to do numbers like that. It's insane. And the kid's only a sophomore.
Corey, I put it into this perspective. If I wanted to, he could have got 1,000 yards that night. And I am not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating at all. I mean, every time he touched the ball, he would go 80, 90 yards.
Right.
He's just a special kid, and I can't take credit for all that. This kid is just God given, and and he works. I mean, he's learning how to lead the locker room, but he shows up every day and he works. But when I looked at the stats at halftime, I couldn't believe he had only ran the ball like 8 times and already had 300 yards or something crazy like that.
It's insane. You know,
Yeah,
he's already got offers. I know definitely from Louisville and a lot of other schools. Having a game like that with already having offers like that from schools is only going to make it better. And what people need to understand, he's got the potential to do that for the next 2 years.
I agree. Absolutely. And then we're dropping down in class as well. So we're going from 4A to 3A the next 2 years as well.
Okay, cool. See, I didn't know that. Now, I was talking with Eric Dick of Holy Cross. He was saying there was going to be some redistricting of stuff like that of that nature, and teams were either going to go up or they were going to drop down. So let me ask you this. Now, all that is on. It's more or less kind of hindered on enrollment, correct?
Right.
So that's why y'all are dropping down. Okay. Now,
Right. Honestly, we moved up voluntarily. So the last 4 years we've played up. We have 3A numbers right now.
okay.
Yeah. So we volunteer. I mean, when you're 16-1 in a class and the only loss is to the team that you beat for the state title, it can get boring kind of quickly. So I'm just a competitor. So
Yeah.
we voluntarily went up, and then we're gonna go. We've done 4 years. This will be the 4th year in 4A, and so now we're gonna go back down to 3A, which we sit in the middle of 3A anyway for its numbers.
Right. So with you all, you and Central dropping down next year to 3A, the teams that you had been playing, are you going to still try to play some of those 4A teams as part of your non-district schedule? How's that going to work?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Franklin County. I think we've had a good thing going with them. So and me and Eddie James are real good friends. I have a lot of respect for Eddie and what he does at Franklin.
Good dude.
So you definitely want to keep a game like that if we can. And we've talked about it, even though we won't be in the same district, try to play some in our non-district.
Right. So with you guys not having any seniors this year and that crop of young stars being juniors next year, having that sector of kids as juniors, how many seniors will you all potentially have next year?
Well, right now we have about 6 or 7 seniors on the team, and mostly sophomores. So we don't have a big junior class as well.
Okay.
So we're going to be mainly juniors and sophomores next year. I would say about 30 juniors next year.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. With that talent, though, I tell you, man, that's nothing, though. So I want to talk to you about how you got started in football and what made you take the Central job years ago.
Well, I've been around football all my life, growing up in Monroe, Louisiana, and had a good run in Oklahoma. Of course, I started my career back home in Louisiana, had a great run in Oklahoma, was able to coach at an outstanding place at Booker T. Washington, Tulsa, and then went to Patterson, Louisiana. This job came open. I got wind of it, some people reached out to me, and we talked, and I came up and interviewed and did the background deal. And for me, it's all about fits, and Central's a different place. It's a special place to coach. Tosh Scroggins done a great job. Steve Cerati, who I talk to a lot still, did an amazing job. So it's just a good place to coach at. And one thing about Central, somebody's going to always walk through that door.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. So with you guys having 4 years in 4A, what would you say your guys' overall record is playing 4A? I never knew y'all did that voluntarily. That's news to me.
Yeah, I don't know the overall record, but we've been, in 4 years, we won 2 district championships. We won a regional championship, and we was in the semifinals the first year we moved up to 4A. So we've had a good run playing up. The goal is hopefully we can get to Kroger Field before we jump out this class and go back down to 3A. But we'll see what happens. But overall, it's been a good run playing up, and the kids met the challenge. That's the thing about it. They met the challenge.
One thing that I'm personally excited about with you guys moving down to 3A is them games with Cal.
Yes. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about those because they're doing a great job over there as well, and they're going to be talented.
I'm actually surprised they didn't try to get Ivan over there because they're fully loaded.
Yeah.
U of L guys. You got Redmond over there, Beaumont, Tobridge. You got another U of L guy over there.
Yeah. Yeah, a tremendous staff. I have a lot of respect for all those guys.
Definitely. So if I'm a parent, why would I want to send my kid to Central? I ask every coach this.
Yeah. Well, one, I think, you're going to get some tough love over there. I'm one of the I think I'm a dying breed when you talk about the way I coach. I'm still that throwback coach. It's tough love. We're going to do it the right way. I mean, we won the district championship in 3 kids row because they jumped in the middle of Franklin County's field on Friday. So, I'm all about teaching life lessons because a lot of people say you're molding boys to men, but how many people actually do that when you really look at it? Right. And, when we talk about not having a 4 team earlier, that's some disciplinary on my part, sitting guys out, but it paid dividends later on in the year. They got the message. So it's just things. If you want it done the right way, then you send your kid to Central. If you're looking for other things, then you go elsewhere. It's all about fits. I tell them I'm gonna support a kid whether they play for me or they don't play for me.
Definitely. So another question that I ask a lot of the coaches I interview that I'm going to ask you, what's more important to you, having your children succeed on the field or succeed off the field? I know it's a tough question.
Yeah, because actually I want both. I want the best of both worlds. Right. But it's definitely the off the field. I think football is teaching life lessons 10 yards at a time. That's all we're doing. And if we're fortunate to win, that's gravy, But at the end of the day, they're going to go farther outside of football. Football is just that vessel, Look at us. We all played the game, and we're doing other things. We're still around the game, but we're doing other things, So that's the thing that you want them to understand. Even if they're blessed, everybody's not going to be Tom Brady, and you're not going to play forever. So we have to make sure they have some life skills.
Definitely. If you could give one piece of advice out there to individuals, what would it be and why?
My advice is to believe in you. I think that's the biggest thing. That's what I try to teach our kids is, at the end of the day, bet on you, believe in you, because how can you expect someone else to if you don't? I'm a big believer in that, and put in the work, and what's meant to be is going to be. That's control the controllable. Sometimes we stress over things we have no control over.
I mean, I tell you, I know I do doing what I do. That.
Yeah.
So who do you guys got coming up in the season?
We will open up the playoffs next Thursday at home against Marion County.
Marion, okay. Marion. So y'all got a good amount of off time. I hear you.
Yeah. We on bye this week, so we had a bye week.
Are you going to scout any potential future opponents tomorrow?
No, because the first 2 rounds we've already played North Oldham. Okay. So North Oldham plays Valley, and we'll get the winner of that game if we win. And then I don't want to get too far ahead, so it's no need in putting energy into something that you might not even see or you might not even play. Okay. So we're going to take it one game at a time for sure, and just keep them focused because they've done a real good job of that.
Where can folks find you at on social media, Coach?
Well, as you can see, I'm not a big technology person, so they can find me on Facebook, and then they can follow us on our Twitter. We have Jackets Football, the Central Football Twitter page. I have a personal Twitter page, so they can follow us that way. We try to keep things updated, and we have a Louisville Central football website as well.
Okay, cool, man. I see that's three things you've taught me in this interview. I didn't know about voluntary 4A. I didn't know about the lack of senior injuries, and I didn't know about the website. I'm slacking. Thanks for putting me on.
You're a busy man. I know personally, so you're all right, Coach.
Coach, I want to thank you for your time. Good luck to you next week, and we'll be chatting soon, sir.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed.